All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It seemed like a boring day in the market. A lot of the moves happened pre-market and then like literally the final 5 minutes, but it is time to start paying attention because not only did we kind of break out of the range today, but you are also diverging from the bonds a little bit, and there's a couple of other factors happening. Now, we don't have a crazy schedule in terms of data. What the market is focusing on politically, it really has to do with the war and a couple of other rumors floating around, but there is some other macro drivers that we need to talk about. You even have Bessent and Trump after the bell. We'll go over all of that, but the fact of the matter is we've really been getting a lot of stop and go, and now it's either we get more of a breakout or we quickly get slammed back into this range, and then maybe the pregame is over and we find out what happens because we're just shy of 30 days of the presidency. I know. Doesn't it seem wild? But Chattadonia, we got a lot to talk about. I have the plays, the keys, all that good stuff. What I need from you, a thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/thestackmarket. We will see you there in the morning, baby. Run it.
Walking to the couch, it's the 2020 last. Live in the hills, but still get a spread. Started with a live, but still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but the sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
Right off the bat, like I said, Trump and Bessent, they're pretty much talking as I am making this video. Bessent made comments about growth ticking up and bringing down the 10-year, even though that really hasn't happened so much yet. And then Trump was really talking about Zelensky, and then he started reminding people about the tariffs in April. Now, I'll tell you, one of the themes of this week, over the weekend, there was a meeting with Russia and America and Saudi Arabia, and it was looking like it was going pretty well, and then Zelensky backed out, and then things weren't going good. But I don't know if I told you, I got a lot of pretty pictures to show you today, and one of them is this right here. So if you really want to track the peace talks, because there was a lot of rumors even today going back and forth, and even though I think the market does want to react, the answer is going to be in the Ukraine sovereign bond. Yes, this exists. Go look it up on Trading Economics. This was from Friday, and it was moving around. So this going up is a good thing. That means as people are liking the peace talks and making that progress, the bond has recovered. If it is going to go south, this bond is probably going to crater once again. But this is something to keep an eye out. I think you're going to get a lot of this, but I don't think that's going to stop or help the market unless there is something good. So there's that. Trump, again, reminded people about the April tariffs, but that pretty much leads us to our next key here. I still think this is the tariff pregame, and generally the market is taking it well. Why? We got the buybacks back. Market's hitting new all-time highs. There has been a broadening out. It's not as if like Mag 7 and everything else went crazy, but you have had a lot of things do pretty well. That's why I look at the long term. The broadening in value has done good. Market is taking it decently for now, but this is kind of the problem. We haven't had anything happen just yet. Now, this is where some of the pretty pictures come in. Believe it or not, on the earnings calls, CEOs are talking more about, and CEOs in the companies on their earnings calls, like even just general management, they're talking about tariffs more than any other time they did in the past. I'm telling you, it really is the new supply chain, or you could imagine, what was it, inflation, even stagflation at one point. But I thought this was very interesting, and this is where I'm saying, like, for now, we have a lot of worry. You saw how the market took it over the last couple weeks. Now we are back up here, but remember, barely any amount of dollars has been enacted, so we're going to have a couple more weeks until we get to hear more, but that is still on the table. But it's not as if everybody is feeling well. And now this is where some of the other pretty pictures come into play. I'll go back to some of the writing, but here it is. The curve is still uninverted since pretty much August, even though there was kind of a fluke with rate cuts in the election. Fact of the matter was the curve stayed inverted longer than ever, and then it uninverted, and it's still uninverted. Gold is ripping through highs on either tariff or policy uncertainty. Some reason it is going crazy, and then the actual physical storage amounts are breaking out to levels not seen since COVID. If you guys remember, that gold funding chart, well, guess what? Yeah, it's still crazy. So it popped up, came down a little bit, gold came back up, but now it's right back up there. It's kind of playing out how it did around here. So that's the part that's getting interesting. Another part is that cash is low, and it wasn't really like this a month or two ago. Again, there's been a lot of craziness, but fact of the matter is the cash levels, based on the Bank of America Fund Manager Survey, everybody has been drawn into it now. You have more people buying hand over fist than even like '03 at some point. Again, it wasn't just like that not too long ago. So that's another interesting dynamic. The reverse repos are absolutely plummeting, and now this is the final one where I think it gets very interesting. Do you guys remember this chart? It was around that time that Roaring Kitty made that tweet, and I told you how the funds are kind of lagging behind the market, and retail keeps positioning, but now here's the kicker. As we hit a new all-time high and are going up, more funds and bigger hedge funds pretty much are exiting the market, and they are still behind. So this could either mean it squeezes and they have to catch up, or they're the first one out of the door. Now, that's where it starts to get very interesting. Usually they end up catching up, but at the end of the day now, this is like we're still getting into it, and it feels like we survived one round, but like I said, man, right when you start to feel good, I wouldn't feel good. And right when you start to feel bad, you just start to, good's going to come around the corner. But welcome to the Trump market. We're kind of playing it out different, and there is already a lot of big differences to 2018 so far. So we'll see where this plays out. Like I'm saying, I mean, at this point, I think it's a coin flip of really good or really bad how it goes over the next couple of years. But this is how we're developing. We got a couple weeks. We're coming out of the back end of earnings, and just pay attention what the market does, the broadening does, the bonds, and now all of these factors. And now for the rest of this week, we do have a couple of events, but I don't think they're going to be too big. And as far as like rumors, be on the lookout for China farmland. China and talking about farmland. There's one part about it. There was a rumor going around this morning about Trump going to ban Chinese farmland purchases in the U.S. That could be a mini escalation. I don't know how China's going to take it. They could say it's small again, but if they don't take it as something small and they start talking agriculture tariffs or anything like that, be on the lookout. Like we discussed a couple weeks ago, that would be a negative thing. So that's the first part. There was another rumor going around about Mexico remittances we talked about during TIN today. So those are two things. Other than that, I think it's going to be about the war and peace. You might get a couple of Bessent comments here and there, and we shouldn't get anything too crazy because the data, not too big. You'll hear a little bit about real estate. You do get the Fed minutes, I believe, tomorrow, and then the market might get a little jumpy around that, but really overseas CPIs, even Japanese, I think manufacturing data just came out. Stuff like that may move things, and then it'll either be about politics or the lack thereof as we start to move out of the range. So we'll see where all of it leads us, but it should be another red light, green light week. So stay locked in, and I hope you're ready. But now let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I got a couple of different plays, and how can we not? I wanted to be the CEO, but I'll take a meme stock rally and some big news. But Intel, so that rumor from the other day about Broadcom and TSM, it has led to a very big thing. And, everyone was saying how bad Intel was and, biggest down record ever. But yeah, now it's had the biggest 2 weeks ever in its entire history. So you could ask anybody why they're buying Intel. They'll give you 10 different reasons right now. But shout out to the long term. And here's the deal, man. Even the late options are hitting. We have old options going up. I have two different types. My long term is green, so I wouldn't buy it for the long term. My swing shares are still down, so we'll see how that plays out. But the way I'm looking at this, I don't think this is going to be a buyout, so don't get your hopes up. I think it's going to be a licensing deal, and the fact of the matter is, Intel is just getting back into the game now with both chips, AI, American manufacturing. People are just talking about it favorably, and we went from it's a big company, they're doing bad, to now they're saying, well, if they could get with the hyperscalers, then maybe 100 billion small. So whatever it is, man, again, we've talked about this for the long term and many things. It just finally now coming to fruition, but I think this is going to stop at the next earnings or when the news comes out. When we find out about a JV, a deal, whatever they're supposed, CEO, whatever comes out, I think that's going to stop it. But until then, I think it's just a matter of positioning, and then we see where it takes us. So I hope it goes green either way. We have a long-term perspective. The options, I've made all of them free at this point, so I'm just going to be pushing them out from like March all the way till May. So we'll see how that plays. But definitely keep an eye on Intel. It is kind of becoming its own little meme stock. But that is play number one. Then play number two, gold. Like I'm showing you, it is going crazy. I would keep an eye out for it. I don't have a play. I don't think I'm going to make a play. I took that loss like right before it squeezed, bro. I'm an idiot. I should have just held that one, but I got worried about the downside, and that did not materialize, and then it kept going crazy. But if I was going to play it, the point and what I'd be looking for, even with the market at this point, out of the money barbells, you're either playing very defined risk, minimal loss on the event that it melts up or that it melts down after we go over this. But like I'm saying, the funding and all of this, you don't see this too often. So if I was going to play it, that's how I do it. I will keep an eye. Maybe it slows down one of these days and there's an opportunity. If you have an idea, let me know. I could be interested. But that is play number two. And then finally, play number three, baby, Nike. They had a Skims partnership. That is literally Kim Kardashian. And I'm surprised, man. I really think this was big, and it went up like 5%. But remember, Nike a couple weeks ago was at like $90, man. So I think this was a good partnership. Again, even Kanye owns part of Skims. A lot of people don't know that. He was even shouting out Nike on his Instagram this morning. But all in all, it's another one we like for the long term. But see if this could kind of come back alive. I wanted to option play this morning. They were up too much, and then it did like a weird little melt up, so I wasn't able to play it. But I'm going to watch out for that one in the next couple weeks. Maybe a delayed hype from this news. Otherwise, I got some old plays that might be able to come back to life. So we'll see where that all plays out. But other than that, going to keep an eye out on gold. Some of the broader factors, not making any rash decisions. I will be playing back and forth. I have plays for even like the rumor. Did that on the SPY, but I'm going to keep an eye out for either that China rumor, some of the Mexico stuff. We made a play on Western Union as well. But other than that, I think it's going to be a game of stop and go, and we will be there for any news. We hit 1,000% on Howard Hughes, but you have to be there. Go watch it. Anyways, but Chad, I love you, and that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And I just need you to live it, both sides. Oh, yeah, go listen to the philo, man. You could be the peace. You could not just find, don't be looking to find the secret. Live both ways, baby. The cross, bro. You got to be able to live in the contradiction. I don't know if G.K. Chesterton's not like us. They don't. Chad, I love you. Drink that water. Stay hydrated, healthy, all that good stuff. I'll see you in the morning. And horn.